Good evening. On India Decides at 9 o'clock, a sting operation by journalists of Cobra Post, an online newspaper, claims to have caught on camera officials of three of India's biggest private banks, ICICI, HDFC and Axis Bank, offering their journalist, who posed as a front for an imaginary politician, ways to make his black money into white. The so-called black money figure was up to 50 crores. On the tapes, Cobra Post showed conversations with various bank officials where they offered large lockers to stack crores, said the bank is here only for your black money, and even offered to take black money in India and transfer it to accounts abroad. The banks reacted, saying they are investigating these charges but maintained they conduct business with the highest level of compliance. Now income tax authorities have said they are investigating, but our debate tonight asks, why is black money still a black hole in India's economy?
I mean, just please try to understand that these are cold calls. Where a reporter is going, that he's giving this tall tale that politician money is there and he wants to launder it. And look at the different processes that you're getting on cold calls. Please try to understand the gravity of the matter.
Take for instance this HDFC bank in South Delhi. When the reporter asks how to convert his black money, the employee gives an easy option. Bring in cash, deposit in an existing account of the bank. The bank officer issues demand drafts in the name of the person holding these bogus accounts.
The top management knowing about it.
The reporter poses as a contact for a minister who wants to convert his black money into white, but without giving away his name. He leads the bank on, talking about 5 to 7 crores in cash inflow in the coming days. The bank manager offers an account that requires no PAN card. In fact, also gives the option of multiple accounts with smaller amounts, each opened with a different form of identification and which wouldn't be linked to each other. A clear violation of the Reserve Bank of India's Know Your Investment or KYI requirement. The splitting of money into different accounts is also a violation of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. In this Axis Bank, the deputy manager takes pains to explain various ways taxes can be avoided. He offers the bank's max insurance scheme to turn black money to white in just a few years. Bank authorities, when faced with this sting, either denied or said they were conducting their own inquiries. HDFC assured its customers and stakeholders that it had a well-defined Know Your Customer anti-money laundering policy. Axis Bank said it maintains high corporate governance standards, while ICICI has constituted a high-level inquiry committee which will submit its findings in 2 weeks. While income tax officials confirmed they were inquiring into revelations, the opposition slammed these bank practices.
अगर ये कोई बातें सही है, जो चार्ज जो निकला है उसके बारे में पूरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो और इस तरीके के बैंकों को बंद करना चाहिए.
अगर भारत सरकार में इच्छा शक्ति होती तब तक 12-13 प्रकार की कार्रवाई हो सकती थी काले धन के खिलाफ.
Now the sting operation has shown that the problem is huge, and in fact one doesn't have to look at Swiss banks and other black money havens. One only has to look at how the banking system encourages it. In New Delhi, Snehtra Chaudhary for NDTV.
So to sum up there, Cobra Post says in their 6th-month investigation, they said officials from banks across India offering ways to convert black money into white. Cobra Post journalist posed as an imaginary politician, as a front for an imaginary politician, and said he needed to convert his boss's money into white. Joining me on why black money is still such a hole in India's economy, a black hole in India's economy, well, two politicians, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, businessman, now MP, also a member of the Standing Committee on Finance, also with me Naresh Gujral of the Akali Dal, also part of the Public Accounts Committee. Also with me tonight, I'm joined by Mr. B.M. Singh. Now, he's the man who should have many answers. He was, of course, the former chairman of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. I'm also joined by Sunil Alag, consultant, marketing consultant, member of FICCI. Also, Abhay Aima, markets analyst. And joining me is Rudolf Elmer. Now, he, of course, is the man who was the whistleblower exposing many secret Swiss bank accounts and asking questions on why the Indian government wasn't serious on tracking down black money abroad. But what Cobra Post claims to have exposed in its sting is black money here in India. And Mr. Singh, let me go across to you first. Basically, Cobra Post claims to have on camera bank officials from across India offering various options. One bank official has said, I will give you the largest locker so you can stock 5 to 7 crores cash. Another bank official says, this bank is here for your black money. So basically converting black money into white. Given how much tax officials have been cracking down, how is it that this can happen so openly?
Well, as far as giving lockers to stock your black money, it's not really laundering. Any bank would give you a locker. You don't have to tell them you've got black money, and they will give you a locker if they have one available. And they will give you a large locker or a small locker according to availability, and you can stack your...
No, but in this case, the bank official knew that they wanted to put money in.
Now, there is something really wrong in this, but as you said, it is not a PSU bank, it was a private bank.
Private banks, yes.
Private banks are doing it, and all they've got is they've got targets set to get as much business as they can, and they have to satisfy the bosses, and they have to get the maximum business for their banks. And that is why they must be doing it. But I think in such a case, the RBI should crack the whip, and they should be held responsible, or their particular branch, their license is suspended, or whatever the RBI can do, it should be done.
But the question is, this was done by a private, by an online newspaper. Why isn't this being done by tax officials? It comes, banks of course will come under the RBI, but if there's economic offences like this, it can also come under the CBI, the DRI. Why isn't this being cracked down on, considering it seems to be an open secret? That's how this journalist actually went into it.
It's not really an open secret. It's the person who needs something to be done. Only he knows about it. You know, what you mean to say is that why are the tax officials going in there as bogus customers and asking for what you call certain accommodation as far as converting their black into white is concerned. But let me talk to you whether this would be a conversion of black into white or just a time to keep their money there till they can convert it. Because just keeping their money, whether they keep it in a particular locker or they keep it at home, is a different matter. Whether it was a case of laundering is a different matter. If the bank is laundering the money, then it would be a more serious offence.
Well, that is the claim. Let me go across to Rudolf Elmer, who joins me now. The claim that Cobra Post has made that there were many various options that the banks actually offered, as I said, a front for an imaginary politician. So at no point did the bank official even meet the so-called client. They offered options including using insurance schemes, using loopholes in insurance schemes, opening accounts without a PAN card, using a Form 60, also just of collecting money in India and depositing it into accounts abroad. You maintain that the Indian government hasn't been serious about tracking down black money of Indians abroad. Do you think this just reinforces that we're not even serious about tracking it down within India?
Pardon me? Can you repeat the question, please?
I just wanted to ask you, can this happen? This is happening on the government's watch in a sense under RBI. RBI basically is meant to control compliance of banks. How could this happen without, say, top officials of banks being aware of it? Can this happen without top officials of banks knowing?
Say they were very well aware of it, and they do have the duty to know your client, which basically also means that they need to know the source of the funds where the money comes from. So if the money comes from illegal sources, they must know because of the know your client regulations. And on top of it, I believe, and that's actually happening in Germany already, that if there is any evidence about tax evasion, that house searches are performed in banks. For instance, Deutsche Bank had 2 house searches in